All right, HCC Eagles, it is 12:05, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Thank you all for joining us. We have a great presentation available for you all today. But before we go ahead and discuss that, let's talk about some housekeeping rules. So this is being recorded, so if you do not want your cameras on, that is perfectly okay. Please stay on mute throughout the presentation. It will be time for questions towards the end. I have a question in the chat about. Yes, so this event will be recorded and available for playback via our YouTube channel. So you will be able to reference this if you need to go back to it. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation, you can go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. You don't have to wait till the Q&A portion. We don't want you to lose your question. So you can always go ahead and drop it in the chat. And then once we get to the Q&A portion, we will present those questions directly to our presenter. Again, thank you so much for joining us today for our Eagle Chat featuring the counseling department. Today we have Mr. Patrick Nguyen, who is our lead counselor for Northwest College, and he is going to share with you all some resources and services that are available through our counseling department. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it right over to Mr. Nguyen.
Okay, thank you so much, Dominique. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patrick Nguyen. I'm one of the counselors here at Houston Community College. I hope the slides are okay. All right. So an overview, what we're going to cover today is an overview of the counseling services at HCC, what resources are available to students and where to find us. The mission of the counseling department is to provide a holistic support for students pursuing their educational goals. To accomplish this, we provide a full range of professional services for all currently enrolled HCC students. We have about 22, 24 full-time licensed counselors. So we have either licensed professional counselors, licensed social workers, or licensed psychologists. All right, so counselors, we're a little bit different from advisors, okay? Advisors, they'll talk to you about your degree plan, transfer plan, what courses to take, placement testing, things like that. Counselors, we're all licensed mental health professionals. We provide time-limited, short-term counseling for currently enrolled students. We can talk to students about anxiety, depression, coping skills, stress, loss, grief, career counseling, more in-depth career counseling with personality and interest inventories and accommodations. Okay. We provide personal and mental health counseling, accommodations counseling, outreach programming, consultation, crisis, and we also provide Title IX pregnancy and domestic violence accommodations. So if you're pregnant or if you're in a domestic violent situation, you can contact any of the counselors and we can definitely discuss options with you so that we can make sure that you are able to finish the course and that you're able to so that it doesn't affect your school, your grades. We also provide Title IX related counseling required by regulation to provide supportive measures for both the reporting party and the responding party. So whenever we get an issue for Title IX, if you're the offender or if you're the person who is the victim, we provide the same services regardless. We're not a judge and we're not police where we don't investigate the situation, but we do provide supportive services. All right. HCC Counseling Services provides time-limited short-term personal counseling, about 3 to 5 sessions per semester to currently enrolled students. The purpose of the short-term counseling is to focus in on personal issues that may prevent the students from achieving their academic success. For longer-term counseling and supportive services, counselors can help students make contact with appropriate community resources. Uh, some of the other things that we also do is medical compassionate withdrawal. So let's say, for instance, it's past the withdrawal date. Maybe it's a week before the end of school, all right? And you were having some medical issues that kind of prevented you from doing well in your classes. Or if you had possibly an extenuating circumstance, you had a death in the family, or something like that, we can possibly withdraw you from the class, and we can help you withdraw from the class even after the last day to withdraw. And sometimes we can withdraw you up to a year after the class grade has been posted. Okay. So that option is available to students. We work with at-risk student populations, like students on academic probation, academic suspension, or continued probation. We also do education at outreach for domestic violence, drug and alcohol prevention, mental health accommodations, things like that. And one of the other things that we work with students with is basic needs: food, shelter, medical, mental health, things like that. And this is our basic needs website. Let me see if I can send it to everybody. It's hccs.edu/cares, and it has tons of resources available, anywhere from low cost home internet, maybe $5 or $10, maybe free cell phone service, food pantry locations, things like that. Oh no, you only see the home slide. Okay, let me.
Patrick, I think yes, that's
I,
it.
I think, yeah. I'm on a dual split screen, so oh well.
No
We'll
worries.
we'll just move from here. Okay. Um, all right. We also work with students to help them receive accommodations. A student with a disability could be a long-term disability, a short-term disability, could be intellectual disability, or any other mental health disability. And what we do is we help students uh, be on the same playing field as other students. Okay, other students, they may not have the same issues, so we put you in an even playing field with other students. All right. We also provide a comprehensive approach during the pandemic. We have ongoing mental health workshops. We have suicide prevention workshops where you can learn the signs of suicide and how to talk to other people about suicide. I know it's sometimes a really big stigma, and people tend to say, "Oh, it's okay, you're fine. Uh, uh, just think happy thoughts," right? But sometimes, and what we've seen during the pandemic is that mental health and mental health issues have increased dramatically, and a lot of people are not really seeking the treatment that they need. So attending some of our workshops can definitely help minimize or help you find help, right? We also have workshops about substance use, coping skills, depression, anxiety, and we have both speakers from the college, or we bring speakers in. Some of the workshops that we're having this fall semester would be our suicide prevention training for students, so that you can talk to somebody about suicide. So you don't have to be a counselor to talk to somebody about suicide and to help them seek help. We'll have support groups for mental health support groups, where we have Black Mental Health Matters. And we have various time management and study test taking strategies, and time management, and balancing obligations type workshops. We also have a counselor's corner, which is we have a YouTube channel, which has a lot of the presentations that we have. And then we also have the basic needs questionnaire, which is a questionnaire that allows you to find different resources. So after you do this questionnaire, different resources would be sent to you, and emailed to you with those resources. Okay, where to find us? This is our main website. hccs.edu/counseling. At that website, you can check out the counseling corners, tips, self-care, list of workshops, things like that. Thank you so much, Dominique, for posting that. Some other helpful information. If you can work with any counselor in the district. A lot of our counselors are seeing students virtually, either by phone or by Teams or Zoom or WebEx. Or if you want to work with a specific counselor, a specific campus, you could definitely, after reading their bios, you can definitely outreach them and set up an appointment. If you see something that is kind of concerning behavior, then report it. We have a Maxient, what's called a Maxient report, and if you go to the HCC website and just search for concerning behavior, there's a report that you can submit, or you can contact a counselor and we can look into it. Concerning behavior, let's say you have a classmate and they were dressed normally all the way up until like a particular day, and then they start wearing the same clothes. Maybe there's a smell, maybe they look a little disheveled. You can see it in their eyes that they look tired, like some kind of change in behavior, some kind of change in affect, right? If you see that, let us know. I mean, we'd love to outreach that student and say, hey, you know what, maybe there's some resources that we provide to you, or is everything okay? Or maybe they're going through things. Or if a classmate says, hey, you know what, I just lost my grandmother or a significant other, or whatever it is, you can say, hey, did you know that HCC has free counseling services to talk about your grief? Would you like to learn more? And then just provide them the information, or connect with us and we'll connect with them. And then the HCC police. So if you're experiencing a mental health crisis, please dial 911. You can also dial the new suicide prevention phone number. Let me get that phone number for you real quick. It's so new, I can't even remember it. So the new phone number is 988, right? Just like 911, but 988. It's the suicide prevention hotline. Okay, so anywhere in the US, you dial 988 and you'll be connected to somebody who is trained to talk to you about the thoughts that you're having. Okay, and that's about all for my presentation. I'll throw it back to Dominique.
Hi, Patrick. Can you share a little bit more information about the basic needs resources that are available on campus for students across the district?
Yeah, definitely. Let me unshare my screen and let me share my other screen. Okay, screen.
And as Mr. Nguyen is working on that, if you all have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, or once Mr. Nguyen finishes with this question, you are more than welcome to unmute and actually drop it away.
Okay.
Hi, my apologies. I had to handle something. So if you already answered this question, I just didn't hear it. But one question I had is, so for some of us students who are disabled and want access to those resources, we're generally told to get like a diagnosis, proof of diagnosis, or like a note. Obviously not all disabled people already had those resources, like a therapist and something like that, or some type of diagnosing psychiatrist beforehand to even have that on file. And with the pandemic, it's a lot harder to get an appointment these days. I've tried to get appointments and called into places where it's been backed up 3 months, 6 months, etc. from the counseling department, do y'all have any way to help disabled students who are in need of that? Just like both for school records, but then in general, because a lot of us, like myself, of course, want counseling and therapy and stuff in general.
Yeah, so we can provide short-term therapy. We can provide short-term therapy or for short-term mental health counseling sessions for students. You just have to contact any of our counselors. Okay. The specific documentation that you're looking for accommodations is something that's required by the college to get, mainly because we don't have people who can diagnose on staff. Okay. If you have any older documentation or any documentation whatsoever, then if you've been working with a therapist or a primary care physician or psychologist, if you've been working with them previously, you can always ask them if they can provide you an accommodations letter for college or a letter to provide to a college. Most professionals or healthcare professionals or mental health professionals would be able to know how to write that letter. Okay, so and they should be able to provide that letter sometimes without you seeing them, if you've been working with them previously. If you are having difficulty getting an appointment with somebody, then you can definitely work with a counselor. They can take a look. They can help you with other healthcare resources that has a shorter wait time. So it's important to have these documentation, mainly because we don't want to miss anything. We want to provide you the maximum amount of support that you've discussed with your healthcare provider or your mental health provider. Okay. I hope that answers your question. Please let me know if it does or if it doesn't.
It did. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. So screen number 3. So this is the CARES website for basic needs. It's just hccs.edu/cares. One of the biggest programs that we offer is the Community Health Market Trailer, which is, and if we open it real quick, which is we partner with the Houston Food Bank to drop by 5 or 6 different locations all around HCC campuses at different days and different times. And we have our dates for September up now, and you can walk through and pick up about 40-45 pounds worth of food for free. Hopefully this can kind of help with paying some bills. If we can save you maybe $300 or $400 in groceries a month, then maybe that's $300 or $400 that you can spend in other areas, right? Like housing, transportation, or your books or your studies. These are some of the locations, and you can attend all of the locations if you want to, or you could just attend a handful of the locations. Okay. All right. There's also SNAP that's available for college students. So what we're going to discuss is when we look at basic needs, we look at basic needs holistically, not just what the college offers, but what we can connect you with outside resources. Okay. Because we want to multiply the amount of help that you get. So there's some things that are here, some things that are outside. We also have a map of food pantries around Houston, and there's about 50 or 60 different food pantries all around Houston. Okay. And the Houston Food Bank has that pantry list. You can see the number of food pantries around Houston. Some of the other resources that we offer, would be mental health support, healthcare, paying bills, cell phone, internet. The other big area where you can definitely save a lot of money would be either free cell phone service, either home service or cell phone service through the Lifeline program. You can also save a little bit of money through low-cost internet, $5 or $10 a month, or $10 Comcast Essential. If you have financial aid, that kind of pre-qualifies you for a lot of services. Okay. And then you can also connect with T-Mobile for a free mobile hotspot. And did you know that you can pick up a mobile hotspot from the library? You can check it out. You could also check out a Chromebook or a laptop from the library too. Free Wi-Fi zones, additional help with electricity, gas, things like that. All right. Okay. But there's tons. We're updating this constantly. So you will always want to definitely check back. The thing with a lot of these grant funded initiatives is that we may post something, let's say for transportation to get gas cards or something. We may post it and the grant may run out of money, so we may not be able. We try to take it down from our website, but if you see something, let us know. We can always take it down. So it's always good to try to, if you see something, you want to apply for it as soon as possible. I hope that Dominique, I hope that goes over our HCC Cares website. And basically,
Yes.
yeah.
I only seen one question in the chat. I think I've already answered it. HCC Eagles, do you have any other questions? I'll give it a couple minutes for anybody to unmute or drop it in the chat.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
This year I'm applying for physical therapy, and I'm trying to do in a program for getting into for physical therapy, but I applied for different classes that not showing the same as the paper they give me in the counselor in the Southwest Houston.
Okay, so counselors, yeah,
Go ahead.
counselors are a little bit different from advisors. The advisors will talk to you about your degree plan, classes, things like that. Counselors, we work with students in regards to like mental health, career counseling, accommodations, Title IX. So counselors are a little bit different from advisors. For your particular case, if anybody advises you to take classes different or separate from what you're going for, from the sheet of paper that you're going for, I would talk to that advisor again and verify, and definitely ask,
Yeah,
what's the reason for these classes, right? If yeah, go ahead.
it's because last year I get pregnant and I had enrolled classes for teacher for English, but I dropped. Well, I couldn't continue my study because when I was on the computer, I had so many vomit and nauseous, and I lost my baby. I was in the hospital, so my mom pushed me this year to go back to school, and I applied for physical therapy, but they give me some sheets. But I don't know understanding, because they told me to apply for 1301 learning fragment, and I did that I did last year, but I couldn't pass because I couldn't make the testing, and I was in the hospital. And then I'm applying for physical therapy this year, but they told me I has to retake again the classes, and I went with them to talking, and they told me start for the second semester. I want to start the first semester, but they apply for one class is math, and I'm doing math class in Katy because I live in Katy. I didn't live anymore in Houston.
Okay.
I moved to Katy when I was pregnant, so I have so many issues with that for applying for physical therapy.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your child. You may qualify for Title IX accommodations. where we can either withdraw you from the previous class or allow you to possibly finish up the course, get you incomplete and finish up the course. Okay.
Okay.
I recommend that you talk with a counselor instead of an advisor
Mm-hmm.
about Title IX services and accommodations for your
Okay.
previous course. Okay.
Service. Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
Mhm.
Any
Thank
other
you,
questions?
Patrick. Yeah, any other questions? And I just want to put a reminder out there that this is being recorded and will be available for playback on YouTube. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't look like we have any other questions. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank you again, Mr. Nguyen, for sharing all of this information. It was a lot of information, very good information. And Eagles, if you do have any additional questions, you are always more than welcome to connect with your counselors, your local counselors at whichever campus you are at. Again, this video will be available for playback for you all to defer to if you have, if you want to go back and review, maybe even how to get to the basic needs site, or just if you're curious again about what services are being offered through our counseling department, you can always refer back to this video.
It looks like we have a
Eagle,
yeah.
oh, if you, okay, thank you. Mr. Nguyen, if you are in the GED program, will this apply to you? Will these services apply to you as well?
Yes, definitely. It doesn't matter what program you're in, as long as you're currently taking classes at HCC. So GED classes, continuing education classes, semester credit hour, college classes, foundation, developmental classes. It doesn't matter as long as you're currently enrolled. Then you qualify for a lot of the services that we offer, or all, counseling services.
Thank you, Patrick. And in terms of Eagle Point, so the Office of Student Life has put together an incentive program for students to participate in these types of events, in addition to some other events. And so by attending this event, you will qualify for Eagle Points, and those will reflect on your profile through the Eagle Experience profile. I'll drop that link in the chat for you all. Let me drop it now. In case you have any questions about Eagle Points and how they work, you can defer to this, but at the end of each year, you will be able to redeem it for free swag. So we have some really cool HCC Student Life swag there. We also have movie tickets and just some other items as well. In addition to that, we do have some additional upcoming Eagle Chats coming up, you all. This week is our week of Eagle Chats, and then we have one more scheduled the following week. So we have career services. We also have HCC Police Department, who will be talking about how to stay safe on campus. How do you all get police escorts to your vehicle, how, crime prevention, and so forth. We also have our career services, HCC PD, financial aid, and library services are our upcoming Eagle Chats, and I will drop that in the chat for you all as well. And so that is going to conclude our Eagle Chat for Counseling Services. Thank you again, Patrick. Again, this was great information. I learned some things. And thank you, HCC Eagles, for attending, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.